Alrighty, so this has been the map that I've been the most excited for to cast since it came into the ranked pool. They brought it in from tournaments. There are some slight tweaks to this version versus the tournament versions, but this is fortified clearing. And we've got the stone walls on the front, but not on the outside. So it's arena, but there's a lot of extra steps. And so it's mid-elo now. We've got Smithy playing as the Mongols versus 01D4 playing as the Saracens. Both these civs can be insane in late game. You could think it could go late game here because this is a closed map. But I could also see some craziness on the outside. So but I'm curious to see, like, when I see Mongols, what the plan will be. But we'll find out as we go. The username that I'm always hesitant to read out loud because it's just weird to say. Butt Plugs Rules said, did you announce your 24-hour stream or not yet? I did not announce it yet. Thank you for your interest in that. It will happen. I've got, actually, I haven't announced any of the sub goals from TTL yet, but I'm kind of planning that. I'm hoping it'll be like once a month for the next couple months. I'm hoping to let people know somewhat soon because there's like tournaments happening. There's some travels happening. There's a lot of, and I want to make sure people know in advance, especially the 24-hour. And chat, type a 1, and it's okay. Don't be shy if you've never seen any of my 24-hour streams. I say this, it's been like 4 years. It's been a really long time. And I've got, I mean, we set the bar pretty high. It's going to be tough to meet that. I think we can meet it and go beyond that. I have content planned for it already. It's always insane. Basically, it's not just some dudes online for 24 hours slowly dying. We actually do content things that aren't done on any other streams. And it is always a fun time. So anyways, I'll let you guys know in advance on that. All right. Blue is here, guys. Blue is scouting the enemy already. So it's found the enemy base. I saw Red Scout came over here to the side. It is a chicken version of the map. So that's a little annoying when you're Mongols. If you have the ability to push deer, you'd normally prefer that. Excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, we'll see how Red manages it here. Saw a 24-hour stream clip on YouTube and it was great. It was Ring Nothing. Ring Nothing, dude. Well, I can't spoil any plans, but I have yet to do another Ring Nothing since. If there was ever a time, it would be that. So, would you recommend we prepare for your 24-hour stream by watching? Oh, would you recommend we prepare by watching your 24-hour stream VODs on YouTube? So, we don't actually have the 24-hour VODs super available. A lot of the stuff that happened on those streams eventually hit a video, but it's not very easy for you guys to go back and watch some of it, which is a shame. We'll do a better job in the future on that. Yeah, I've got plans. I've got lots of plans, and I'm hoping, I think in 2 weeks is going to be the Lowy the Legend Marathon. I need to plan some stuff because I'd like to have some guests and whatnot. If not, we'll just do a really long stream with that with some giveaways. The community game marathon, I have a new map/mode that I think is absolutely freaking epic, which I do not want to tell you guys yet, but it's going to be legit, and that probably needs to be made before we do the marathon. So, yeah, we'll see. Also planning some things that aren't on that sub goal. So, Red, dude, your chicken's dead there. You can't build the mill on top of the dead chicken. You got to move the mill. There we go. Okay. So Red, not a big fan of chickens, it seems. But Red's Mongols, so Red should be doing that. Good to see. And Red is Mongols, and Red is going to lame. Red kills the goat with the scalp and is going to steal one now. So we got a little bit of spice here, guys. And Red's going to lame. Classic. Blue's going to be annoyed by that. But there's not really too much Blue can do. Blue Scout is over here now, so. Harsh Yoshi says, I've seen the last 2 of your 24-hour streams. Sick. Guys, there are people who actually stayed up the entire 24 hours for some of those streams. I don't know if any of them are here. But, dude, I remember getting... Is Red following the goat right now? Red is following the goat. Okay, that's interesting. Never seen that before. But I remember, I think Ducks did it for multiple 24 hours and a couple of the mods. And they were posting, like, photos of their prep. Like their grocery carts. And, like, it was a fun time, dude. It was a fun time. I take it pretty seriously myself. I, like, prep my caffeine intake and my sleep schedule and my diet and whatnot a week and a half in advance to make sure that I can be as healthy as possible with it. And I like time, like, I don't know what you guys envision when you think of it, but you probably think of some like sweaty nerd just like chugging energy drinks the whole day. I think that would absolutely destroy me. So typically I like don't have caffeine for a week and a half in the build up. And then I don't allow caffeine until at least like 8 or 10 or 12 hours in. We'll see what the game plan is. But there's unique videos that you'll see on that, and there's always some storylines, and it's a lot of fun. So, anyways, this is not an advertisement for my 24-hour stream. This is a cast. And Red going double archer range on the outside. So, and Red, did I say Red? I meant to say Blue. Red can see this. So, double range archers from Saracens. And then Smithy here is definitely trying a fast castle. So that's the beauty of the map. You can kind of justify either, right? T90, will we ever do a subathon? Subathon probably is a better way financially for me, you know, to make money and whatnot. But 24-hour streams are where it's at for me. Also, when someone... The subathon thing... where you like say, or when people say it's like a 24-hour stream and they do 2 separate 12-hour streams where they go to bed in between, or when people stream, but they're not actually live and it's just a video. I mean, as someone who's done 4 24-hour streams, it actually pisses me off. It's not that big a deal. Content's content. If people enjoy the content, they should enjoy the content. But I'm like... as someone who did the 24 hours, I'm like, what is that? I guess it's healthier, but... I mean, yeah. Not doctor recommend what I do, I suppose. All right, Blue, you about to move out, my friend. This is interesting here, right? Like, Blue could move right now, and I think Red has some big problems. It's also interesting, Red Scout didn't stay here to keep track and see what's happening, you know? Which you could do. I cast this elo with a slightly different tone because I want people to learn a little bit. If that's not cool, if you guys don't want to learn, then just say so and I can cast it differently. But I think this elo is better for that. Also, Blue doing the right things with the Saracens. Buying and selling at the market. So the food eco is obviously not great, but you can just buy food. That's so many archers. I think Red is in big trouble. Red is walling this side and not this side. It feels like Red is trying to click up here to Castle Age. But let's see how Red manages this when Blue has this many archers. Blue doesn't really need much more than this, too. This is Saracens. You can break through walls. Yeah, no upgrades on the archers, but also no real military for Red. Red just has that one spearman. So, you know... at higher ranks, I'd be saying, okay, well, he scouted this. He has the information. But Red is a bit like me in high school. I had the information, but I didn't really pay attention. So the information was right in front of me. I should have known, you know, how to speak Spanish. I should have known, you know, basic, you know, calculus or chemistry. But I didn't freaking pay attention. And then archers showed up to my base. That's, you know, adult life. Is archers in this case, and then I was completely blindsided. And so, they, you know, then you try and, you know, quick wall out life, and you can't really house wall out life because houses are too expensive. So, yeah, this is bad for you, Smithy. This is very bad. You might have killed the goat or stole the goat, but you're getting completely destroyed. 4 villagers down. Panic time over here. Now, Smithy was hoping to build a castle and go Mangadai, which I actually really like. These archers hit perfectly for Blue. Now, things have been far from perfect for Blue's economy. Blue hasn't had food eco to produce vills. So the vill count will actually be a lot closer than you think. Blue doesn't have a single farm. So Blue's committed to the archer attack, but doesn't have a lot of eco. Which gives Red chances. Blue runs into the TC because blue was probably looking at home for a second. And I think red's going to try and buy a castle here. If I were blue, I would put my units on stand ground so that doesn't happen. But just go back, go to your market, sell all the wood and the stone, buy some food, maybe add a couple farms, try and get up. You've done enough damage here. This is a sick build from blue. I really like this. It's perfect for this map because even if your opponent walls, you can break through the palisade walls very quickly. Very dangerous. Okay, Mangonel's on the way for red. Red's not resigning. Blue's nowhere near Castle Age. Blue's only making archers. So, like, as easy as it was for blue to get ahead, I think things could fall apart here for blue. Well, TC is garrisoned, but villager dies. And another villager dies. That's not bad. Red is really overwhelmed right now. And Mangonel misses. Oh, blue's a god. Blue's a micro god. Blue's a micro god. Let's go. Red is stunned right now, but red is in Castle Age. Micro? Oh, nice attack rounds. And honestly, red, the only thing you really need here is you need a couple repairs. Guys, blue has nothing on food. Nothing. There's been no balance. Uh-oh, but. Ooh, we have ourselves a game, guys. Red will go 2 TCs. Who knows if red will really have the food eco to keep producing, but red has food eco compared to blue not having food eco. Blue keeps making archers. We'll see if those archers will accomplish much. You can tell blue doesn't look at their economy because blue's, like, so active. There's an army here. I don't know where the other archers are, actually. But these villagers will chase this down. Okay. Whew. Chad, who wins this game? I actually think this is way closer than the scoreline suggests. Blue has 4 minutes of idle TC time. Important to remember as well, if someone's being very aggressive and more aggressive than you're used to, there's probably a downside if they're at the same elo. I think red can win this. Blue, like, got ahead and then failed to deviate to another aspect of the game. Like, never thought, let's stop making archers. We did enough damage. Blue's like, let's keep making archers. But that's the thing about this elo. You can get really good at a couple things, but not everything, right? It'll take some experience from blue. Okay, blue did buy some food. Still no farms. This is where I'd like to see a couple farms added. And blue is adding the farms now. And red will add TC number 3. So I just saw blue drop off the wood before building the farms. Guys, you don't have to do that. If you just build the farms, you get the wood anyways. It's the same with every other resource. If a villager has food, wood, gold, stone in their hands, and you build a farm, you get that resource in your bank when the farm is built. A lot of people who are very good at this game don't know that. And so they're forced dropping off. And it's just an extra thing you have to do. Make your life a little bit easier. Well played from red to be calm under pressure, though. Well played. We have some couple cav archers being massed. Red's eco is still not great, but red will probably get the Vil lead. Does that also work with buildings? Every economic building, like TCs, mining camps, lumber camps, mills, you only lose the resource if you click onto another resource and you mine it. So, like, if you have wood and you're holding 15 wood and you click stone with that Vil, the second they start to mine stone, you lose the wood. It used to be that if you misclick the other resource, you would lose it without even taking it. So, like, you'd have food underneath your TC, you'd accidentally click a tree, and then boom, minus 150 food. That stuff, that was the freaking worst, dude. I still can remember specific games where I've made that mistake. But yeah, now you actually have to actively, like, take the resource, so. Okay. So blue went from no farms to all the farms. So honestly, props. Res collected, blue's probably going to be ahead, even though blue will be behind in Vills. Red's attack on the outside wouldn't do much because blue has the archers. These archers could always run in and do some damage. But red is going to push the middle now, which should force a response from blue. Actually would love to see blue go camels here. Feels like a very good option, but we don't have a... Well, we do have a stable somewhere. Oh, whoa. Okay, so we've got archers on the right side. We've got scouts on the left side. Let's go. That's kind of fun. And there's nothing in the middle. Blue's in Castle Age. Possibly, probably. So if I have a miner with stone, I could make them build a lumber camp and they'll drop off the stone and start chopping. Yep, exactly. And it's like, it's a big part of the game. And I've talked, every time I bring it up on a stream, someone's like, what, really? Right? I've said it in so many videos and streams, but it's just people don't know it. So I think I'm going to make a video. It's like 5 things pros do that you should be doing. I think that's one of the things. There's a lot of those tidbits that people just don't know. Red scout went down over here. Blue deletes part of the wall there and is going to come in. And we'll do the same on this side to engage against this. Guys, this is such a crazy game. This is so good. Red is now paranoid of being attacked on the outside and is dropping a castle here. When in reality, it might be a little bit better to build a castle in the middle because that's where blue's bringing everything. That's what's so fun about this map. This map is so freaking cool. Red's army is very vulnerable. Red doesn't have a lot of upgrades on these cav archers. Actually doesn't have any upgrades because Red had to recover from the Vil losses and is focusing on the relics and just doesn't have a lot of res. So blue can clear this. Blue can absolutely clear this. Actually, blue should clear it with just the light cab, but we'll see what the micro's like. Yeah, it should be cleared. The best thing for red to do here is actually run away. Blue, careful! No, your gate is being attacked! Okay, could have been worse. Yeah, red needs to get out of there with those cav archers. And red's now probably like, man, if only I built the castle in the middle, I would be so much safer right now. Ducks with 88 months. What's up, dude? Ducks, I promise I will respond to that resub message, but we've got a baller game on our hands right now, and I need to see what happens. Red has recovered nicely. We've got Mangadai production. Will red get upgrades? We'll see. Red's monks look really freaking cool. What are they holding exactly? These are monks, so I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm really hesitant to make jokes about monks specifically. But I don't know. I can't tell. It's not a corn dog. See, I didn't say that, guys. That was someone in my chat. A scepter? I guess they drop it if they pick up the relic. Okay. Man, blue is a very extreme player. But what blue is doing a great job of now is managing the 1 TC eco balance. It wasn't great before, but the upgrades are in, the army's here. Blue's crazy. Blue's absolutely crazy. And Saracen crossbows take down buildings fast. So these are fully upgraded light cav, almost fully upgraded crossbows, and blue just sends it after the TC. That's not something you see every day. And I'm sure red is like, what? Red, don't destroy your own town center, though. If you click there with the mangonels, you'll destroy it. Okay, blue needs to get on the correct side here. Because these villagers are going to eject. And you need to be in the right position to intercept them. TC will go eject, and oh, man. Well, there's the Vil difference, right? That was the Vil lead that red had. And it's all super exposed. By the way, very easy way to have avoided this situation if you're red. Which I'll talk about if anyone's wondering what they could have done differently. Obviously, right now, red needs army, and he's building up the Mangadai in the back. But Vil count's pretty much even now. Still 2 TCs for red. Red has Mangadai, but red has lost 29 villagers. Okay, what was Ducks' message? Ducks, 88 months. Says, damn, this dude just shared his 88 months of being subbed, and he casually said thanks for the 88. Like, this dude has spent his hard-earned money to be subbed to you for 88 months, and you treat it like it's a casual item you just picked up. What are you talking about? Casual item I just picked up. What are you talking about? Oh, well, hold on. Actually, 88 months isn't that impressive. Crassius, thanks for the 91 months. And he says, imagine only being subbed for 88 months. Crassius, I love you. That's funny. Dux respects that too. The best part is that Dux has the powers to ban you now, and you still decided to make that joke. So that's epic. Dux, do what you want. It's fine. He's not that nice. No, I'm kidding. No bans. Man, the Mangudai clear. Guys, Blue's game here is an example to every mid and even low elo player of how you can get by on 1 TC and be fine for a while. Just managing that one town center economy, focusing on some army, and just producing. I think it's a really good way to learn being an aggressive player, because you don't... You have to actively use your military to get away with it. But it's impressive. Also shows you how that aggression is not necessarily better than the economic approach, because Red is about to get relic number 5. Red has 2 castles to produce Mangudai, and Red is on the way to Imp. Eco is definitely something you want to rely on for consistency. And oh man, Red, Uaville's here! I think they moved here earlier in the game. I'm not really sure exactly why they're here right now, but they're dead. This game's crazy lopsided. Like, one player's boom, one player's army, one player's relics, one player's not. I think long-term I would prefer the Saracen Civ, but Mangudai are tough to stop if they're an Imp, and still a minute away from Imp here is Smithy. The Mangudai are here, and the Mangudai get the clear up. But Blue's still producing out of the ranges, producing out of the stables. By the way, another tip, just make a gate. Just make a freaking gate. Like, I'm seeing a lot of deleting of the houses. So many people like to build their buildings as part of walls. That's fine, but just gate it. And honestly, Stone Gate is like the safe play at this stage of the game, but Palisade gates could look a little awkward for you later on. It's just an idea. Red will be an Imp. Barely has gold income, but can get Bracer for the Mangudai at least, which is a pretty big one. Blue's going to feel pressure now to get Imp as well. Blue using the market now. This is why I say a Stone Gate, because if you use a Palisade Gate, the units could come right through. Blue's probably like, well, this is why I make a house, bro. This is why my way is better. I think Blue is missing a building to click up, and that's why Blue didn't. Now Blue doesn't have the res. The Mangudai are here, though. 7 relics for Red. Dang. 7 relics, and even though Red's lost bills, Red just keeps flying. And 2 castles to produce Mangudai. And Blue isn't an Imp yet. University would be nice for ballistics. There is the university, so I guess just missing the gold for that now. And once that upgrades in, and there's the Stone Gate, things should fly here for Red. But Blue has still collected more resources, guys. Now, that's deceiving because Saracens also are selling a lot, so I don't know how much is actually, gained. I forget if Capture Age actually factors that in. But Chemistry's on the way, and Ballistics is on the way, so Red's about to have a really strong army. Blue needs to go up. Blue, you need to go up. Up to Imp. And there we go. On the way to Imp. Okay. T90, analyze the houses to the edge. You want me to analyze the houses? That's a lot of houses. That's a lot of houses. Might be a little bit better to use it as part of a wall. But yeah. Now, does Red know about the castle there from Blue? Red does not, but Red's army is insanely strong. Blue's army can snipe the siege, though. And light cav are just throwaway units, so you're completely fine with that. Snipe the siege. Then you have skirms. Then you have crossbows behind. Blue's not missing ballistics. Red microing. Blue has a lot of army, though. Oh, my God. And red's not really able to balance out resources and whatnot behind this. Like, red's not producing bills this whole time. At the same time, though, red didn't lose what was important, which was the Mangudai. And I think if blue had ballistics, this fight would have gone very differently. I don't know exactly how many light cav that was for blue, but that was too many that just went down. You should always be thinking if it's the same type of units, so ranged units in this case, and one player has imp upgrades, the imp upgrade player should always be fighting. Even if you're down in numbers, you should have some range, right? Red's like, you think you killed me with the archers, fool. Imagine if blue would have been an imp a little faster here, guys. And these units would be getting upgrades right now. Timing is everything. There are skirms in the mix. Red's peeling off... Wow, some pro moves here. He's peeling off some of the Mangudai. Blue still has solid numbers. Does have production, but the production's in the back. And blue makes it to the Imperial Age. Blue really low on golds. It's 68 pop for both right now, guys. Crazy stuff. Obviously, to get gold, blue could just sell at the market. Blue will do that. Blue really relying on Mamelukes right now. Well, they do have the armor. They do have the attack from the light cav upgrades. So that's actually not horrible. I wouldn't do that in the long run, like, if your castle's going down, though. But obviously very desperate at the moment. And feels the need for a little bit more. Red getting elite Mangudai, just 2 castles. Doesn't have any villagers on stone. And this game is even. This is sick. Also, Mamelukes take down Trebs pretty fast. But yeah, blue needs more production buildings. Like, the stables in the back, the ranges in the back are really slowing blue down at the moment. In red's case, you're kind of slow because you need Trebs and Mangudai, and you only have 2 castles, so you have to choose. So, like, 1 Treb here is because red needs Mangudai now. I'm kind of leaning towards red because I think those relics is just such a big game changer later on. And blue doesn't pose an immediate threat to the castles. And the Mangudai are only going to get stronger. But the Treb goes down, which gives blue time. Which gives blue a lot of time to chill, to think, and get upgrades, which blue didn't have in any of those engagements. This is a fun one, guys. This is really fun. By the way, you know when red got pushed on this TC? I'm just going to say it now. Red did that because red was paranoid about the outside. That's a 650 stone investment to protect the outside. I don't know how much stone it is to just stonewall this segment, but it's way less than that. And so it could have been stonewall in case an army comes that way, and then a castle near the TC. And none of that would have ever happened. So it was correct game sense to, like, protect that, but incorrect to invest into the castle there, in my opinion. Castles always need to be mid. Red really likes the trickle treb. That's another trebuchet that's just tossed away instead of just waiting and being patient. But blue is sending in like a lot of units to and losing those units, so it might be worth it in the end. Around 150-ish stone, assuming 30 tiles. Yeah. Like I said, it was the correct game sense to understand that I think it was archers could have come through. This is a really difficult map to play, though. It's hard to judge those things. I've obviously played and seen this map, like, way more than the average player, even if the average player is playing the game a lot, because it's comes from tournaments. So 2 stables, almost always producing. 2 ranges, almost always producing. I like to see those numbers go up to, like, 4 and 4. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen a player stay 1 TC in present-day Age of Empires this elo. This is, like, old-school style, guys. And, again, it's like, I think it's really good to learn because you get a feel for actively producing and controlling army. And then once you, like, it's super easy, in theory, to just add in a 2nd and 3rd TC once you get these skills down. But You know, red certainly has the, like, it's one of those weird things. Obviously, adding the TCs is more of a certainty. It is a move I would suggest everyone do. Yeah, and at this point, you're spending your resources on army, so you never have enough for TC. Yeah, maybe. Like, that's the other thing I like about blues. Blues always getting blacksmith upgrades, too. They're both doing a great job at spending fast. We got Siege Ram now from red. Also, red found some more stone somewhere. Red found some more gold on the outside. So red could be on 3 castles soon. Close game. Mid-elo was crazy, man. I like this a lot. Very different styles. Very different strategies. I'm not sure if Ram is going to be that good here. Because there's a lot of melee units. I don't think red is expecting blue to have this many Mamelukes. There's Mamelukes, there's Hussars, and then there's also Arbs. No university for blue hurts so much, though. Like, you really need ballistics, you really need chemistry for the Arbs. Yeah, I think if you have the gold, going Siege Rams is great, even if you don't take out the castles, because it just tanks. So that's a really good point. I feel much better about that on this map, and if you have the relics, because there's so much more gold, right? Can you attack the hut in the middle? First off, it's a yurt? What are we calling a hut? It's clearly a yurt. I don't know what's on that sign. I don't know, actually. This hasn't happened in other generations. I think if you do attack it, it won't take damage because it's 9,999 HP, which is typically what units that don't take damage will have. Yeah, get it right. Oh, tell me, you gotta get drill here, Red. Smithy, I'm on board with you if you get drill. Don't make my chat spam that embarrassing ram emote of me without drill. Come on. Elite Mameluke? Bro, let's go, blue. Mams are insane against rams. They're also good against Mangudai if they can get in close, but getting in close is the is the tough thing here. Smart from red to think about lancing from the outside. Blue is definitely not focused there. It's funny how they've both been thinking about the outside at different times. Mams against rams. And then Mangudai against Hussars that can fly? Okay, rhyming with Mangudai is really tough. So, if you can find something in this game that rhymes with Mangudai better than that, I'll be very impressed. Okay, so notice how blue is to pull all these Hussars back in response to this. This is such a good raid. Also, Vils over here. They've got plans. This raid is already paid for itself. Hussars will kill the Lancers, but they're out of position. Blue making some trebs and being patient with the trebs, which we talked about. It's a weird situation. If you're in red's position, also I love how the monk is boxed in there. If you're in red's position, you might not want to actively fight because you have the relics. But blue's going to force the issue here. Mamelukes on the front lines, Arbalest on the back side. If only the Hussars were here, though. The Hussars are your cheap meat shield that you want. I think red can look back at that raid and say the raid changed everything. Blue's Hussars are not in front. But blue's still taking a good engagement. Lost the trebuchets. Red is losing so much here. Red's losing a lot. I think red looked at that. The villagers got spotted by blue. So blue killed those villagers that were going to drop that castle. That's a bit of a disaster. Still no ballistics. Still no chemistry from blue. But blue just produces like a madman. So much army all the time. And then look at red. Red's banked up res. But red hasn't been producing as much. Part of that, I think, is red just committed everything to Mangudai here. Even the Step Lances were an afterthought. There weren't a lot of blacksmith upgrades invested. There was an elite Step Lancer. Wow, red's going to drop a castle here? That's kind of crazy. I don't hate it, though, because there's another stone there. That can make things messy. But red, you need a response to this right now. I think red recognizes this is not a winnable fight and will fall back. But red needs time and needs more army. Now, what can you make? I would love to see, as weird as it sounds with these resources, I would actually try and go camel here. Not a lot of wood for stables, but I would say buy some stables and go camels with your Mangudai. With those res, I think it makes the most sense. You could also consider the Onager upgrade. Unfortunately, it's the slowest choo-choo ever. No drill, so the siege isn't speedy. I'm really pumped about blue. So back in the day, there was this player named Spring. He does still occasionally play, but he was like one of the best for a time, right? Like I think he beat Viper in a tournament like 2011, 2012. Spring's one of the OGs. And Spring was like, had a big influence on my my playing career, right? And Spring told me when I was like 1300 elo, he said, don't add TCs until you're 1600. Which sounds crazy. He said, don't do it, because what's going to happen is you're going to add all that eco and you're not going to learn to like focus and balance the military and eco. He's like, just play one TC till you're 1600. And I thought he was so crazy, dude. I thought he was a madman. I'm like, that's so stupid. I'm just going to get out boomed. And he's like, well, you got to learn how to manage that army more actively. And it helps a lot, man. And Blue's like, this is crazy. One TC the whole game and just produces out of every single building so consistently. And I think Blue's going to win this game. Doesn't have any relics. Red has 8 of them, but that'll all be taken out. A frustrating loss for Red if Red does go down, because Red did so many things well. And, well, TCs are starting to fall. Again, those relics will fall. The Rams are kind of out of place. There is a bit of an attack here from Red. And I think Red is shooketh right now. Maybe Red is someone who watches games and says, why does someone resign with 2k gold in the bank? Like Red's like, come on, I can't resign. I've got 2k gold. Not saying Red should resign. Red should absolutely fight here. It's been one of those games you never know. But Blue, just the stables were producing, the ranges were producing. And it was always just like 2 in the back, 2 in the side, and now 2 castles on the front. That's the crazy thing. It's not like there's been a lot of production buildings. That and upgrades. Every blacksmith upgrade is in. Not even university upgrades. Here go the Rams. So there's a flank attempt from Red. Honestly, Red, find the houses, bro. Find the houses. Blue will have a bad time. Dude, I really hope that happens. Did he scout the houses? No, he didn't scout the houses. Whatever. But how do you stop this, man? I like this from Red. Red also bringing a Mangudai here onto that gold. So thinking about that. Bills are headed over that way. Mamelukes are so tanky, right? They will eat Mangudai quick. They will eat the Rams quick. Blue continues to push in. And now there's drill. So Smithy here is repairing. Drill should come in. So the Rams will be, upgraded to next day delivery. Vil count's actually even, yeah, which is crazy. But Blue's eco is somewhat untouched. Somewhat. It's still 1 TC. There still could be a raid here that Blue doesn't notice. Drill completes. Drill completes. Villagers and monks getting sniped. The Lancer is there. The Rams are here. There's also the castle here garrisoned. No murder holes for Red. So Blue's sitting on that. The golden come from the relics will be gone. The Rams are here. Is this still winnable for Red right now? Red still has this castle to produce Mangudai. Red needs houses like crazy. Okay, if the pikes eject from the Rams, Red's got a chance. Obviously, once a Ram goes down, the pikes will. So much of Red's eco is running around the map right now, which is so unfortunate. But that's Blue's only TC. And the TC is going to survive. Okay, and then there's a Treb there. And then this army's still moving, and then these Trebs are untouched. Rams are still around. There's not a ton of protection now. Blue's trying to take the Rams, but that's why you put the Pikes there. So the Pikes took out a lot of them. Still not a lot left, and I think Red is desperate. And Red's going to try and maybe snipe this Treb now. But look at everything else that's being lost. The entire base is lost. It is crazy that Red still has a villager lead. It's a crazy stat. Blue with a bit of a stable wall here, but the Treb will get sniped. Mangadai are good at that. And the Vills are exposed. The Mangadai are here. Blue, you got to get army home. Guys, what is this game? Blue's now going around the outside. Oh, but it's a feast. Red, you have to run further. I mean, where else are you going to go? Blue? Blue? Just passing. Yep, it's a classic just passing move. We all know that strategy. Just passing, casually passing 40 villagers standing there chopping trees. Because Blue is panicked right now because the Mangadai are shredding his base and Red has nothing else to do. So Red is micring like a maniac. And Red has to make new ranges. The Rams are still there. Dude, the Rams could be taking out the houses. And here come the Arbs. Again, like, that's most of the eco. And Red says GG 11. Red, you're not going to believe this, but you have more villagers right now. What a game, man. I mean, I think Red probably loses. Right? Because, like, eventually Blue finds these vills. And then, you know, Blue has more vills. But for now, Red actually has enough resources to probably produce Mangadai from both of these castles. And these Mangadai aren't dying. Like, this is a classic case of when you're playing, you have no clue what's actually happening compared to the casters. We know that Blue might actually potentially throw this game or lose this game. But from Red's position, just think about it from what he sees. He lost his whole base. He doesn't have the relics. This is what he has. And Red's like, yeah, this is definitely over. So that was a crazy game. That was a ridiculous game. And I like that, man. That was fun. Fortified clearing is fun. There's so many different things that happened here. We had the archer rush on the outside. We had the fights through the middle. We had the outside matter again. And then we had the middle matter again. So GG. Again, Blue's kind of a crazy player. This is how I would describe most medieval players in 2025. Everyone is just trying to do the same thing as pros, but worse, right? Everyone says, okay, pros go for, you know, scouts into walls. I'm going to do scouts into walls. Pros go 3 TCs and military. I'm going to try that too. Well, the problem is there's these drawbacks, right? And the drawback is you're trying to do the same thing, but you have significantly less talent and speed. And so what ends up happening is you're actually like not really actively controlling the map with military or actively producing military frequently compared to a pro. And so Blue, 1 TC the whole game, side stables, side ranges, and then 2 castles. And it was just, I'm going to produce, I'm going to get upgrades. I'm going to make sure my TC produces just 1 TC, and it's still fine. Now, I think Saracens helped a ton because Blue could use the market to balance things out, which you can't do with other civs. But that's crazy to me. That's really good. That's very different than what I expected. I might put this player on a list to keep an eye on. And I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying that going multiple TCs is bad. The only reason that Red recovered in this game was because of the TCs. Adding eco is the smart move. But it was kind of cool to see how Blue had such a more aggressive style. Because it's just not as common, you know? So, GG. Blue collected more wood, more food in the end, despite starting the game with basically no farms. The relics brought in 7k gold there for Red. I think Red, a couple tweaks here, probably ends up winning. Red will be kicking themselves when they see this, but no one expects that much production. And again, I actually think the key moment in the game for Red, just one final point on this, because this is a new map, and I want people to learn, right? You have to think about the value of this castle. Now, you can make an argument that this castle being placed back here is good because it's safe production for Mangadai, which I actually wouldn't mind if that's the reasoning. But I think what happened was red wanted to push here. Red knew there could be an army coming around the outside, and you never really know, so the castle would protect it because there were attacks here before, right? What I'd like to see, because from what I remember, red actually had army here. Yeah, red had some army here at one point. You just use that army. You protect this area for the time being. You just stonewall that. 2 vills, stonewall, and then that's not a worry for you at all. That doesn't even have to cross your mind, and then your castle can go up near your TC. If you want to take some big risks, you can actually just castle drop the opponent's face, but they were in Castle Age by then. So, like, this loss here from red happens because, well, first up, because blue is a maniac. Blue's a maniac. That's why. You're not going to face up against a lot of players who do this. But yeah, it was an issue because it was completely unprotected. Because the castle's kind of in the back. But I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too deep into it. That was just a really fun game. And YouTube, if you enjoyed the mid-elo, please let me know, because it's not obviously as consistent as some of the other content. But yeah, I think this elo range, really fun to watch. Maybe a bit more relatable for many, and still get to see some high-level plays.